Hey everybody, Dean with Sear Performance. We're down at the shop today. Want to show you what's going on. We're going to start making a little series of videos for YouTubers to watch. So I'll take you around. Shop's a little bit of a mess right now with the holidays and all, but I'll take you around and show you what we got going on, and then the main point of this video. So back there is the 56, and we got a frame for it. That'll be a whole series of videos all on its own. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Then we got the customer's van. It used to be a 6.5 turbo diesel. We're doing a 6-liter in it, and we're actually going through and changing out the whole fuse box. Fun. Ton of wiring on that. So I got the new fuse box going pretty good. And then over here is a bunch of, those are the C2 and all the connectors for the bottom, going through, pinning all of them out. And then we have the S10, which you've seen in some other videos. We've had multiple issues with injectors that had gone bad on it. Apparently the ECU that we were using, we won't mention any names, but that had a couple of bad injector drivers, which was causing a ton of issues. So the main point today is we got this, and a lot of people will recognize it. It is the new Holley Terminator X. Well, not new now, it's been out for a little while, but we just got this in, so we're gonna open it one-handed. And of course, it's got a sticker. Everybody loves stickers. And it's got a book to tell you how to do it. This is not the Terminator X Max. This is just the Terminator X, so there's no transmission control. And it comes really neatly packed up with a bunch of stuff you have to do. So these are all the main harnesses, the coil harnesses, the injector harnesses, input-output harnesses. Then they give you a little bag. It's got a weld-in bung for a steel exhaust for your O2 sensor, and then all the little map connectors to do that. And then you got your Bosch wideband sensor, the 3.5-inch screen, which is cool that it comes with a screen. Not a lot due, and then you go through either buying an extra screen or making a screen out of like a Raspberry Pi and an like a LCD screen or something like that. So we'll put that over there. And this is the ECU for the Terminator X. It's so small, it's so nice that it is small because you can put it in a ton of different places. 4 little mounting tabs. Then it's got the internal map for like a 1-bar map, but we're going to be using like a 3-bar map. So what's really cool about this is that it automatically comes, not automatically, but it comes standard with an external map connector for GM map sensors. So you can run a 2-bar, 3-bar, up to like a 5-bar map, is from what I understand anyways, but it should be nice. We're going to give it a shot. This isn't going to be, a 6-month process. We're going to make this quick. We're going to get it installed, and there'll be a series of events. We'll do another video. We'll install it start to finish, firing the truck up. Right now, what we're doing with the truck is a bunch of different changes other than a crappy battery that doesn't charge. Taking the whole dashboard out, had all the mechanical gauges, so we're getting rid of all that. We're going to clean up a bunch of wiring, and then I got to make a new tab for the O2 sensor like I did on that side so that it seals good. But that's our AEM wideband that we always run. What else? We actually got a new set of injectors. Big shout out to Brad at SEP, Snake Eater Performance. The guy has been phenomenal. He actually warranted the other injectors, and we have a set of 1500 now injectors instead of the 210s. So we'll be running those. We did have the truck running with those in there, and it ran a lot better than it did, but there was an issue with the ECU, so we got rid of that ECU. We won't name names, but it had a couple bad injector drivers, and that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So we already have the fuel pressure sensor in there, and then we're going to add the oil pressure sensor there on the top of the LS block where your oil sensor usually goes for your stock stuff. And then the other thing that's really cool is that in this harness, somewhere in this harness, so here's one, they already have it labeled as fuel pressure sensor, so that'll plug right into our fuel pressure sensor. That's TPS. So there's another one. It's hidden in here, but it's here. Here it is for oil pressure. So you've got, it's the same plug. We recommend using the Holley transducers, but you know, you can get cheap ones on Amazon. They're like 17 bucks, 16 bucks. That's what we have in the fuel pressure, and it's always worked flawless. It's always worked really, really good for us. So we're leaving that one in there. We got another one coming for the oil, so we'll be able to actually read the oil pressure on the screen instead of having to have a separate gauge to show oil pressure where you got to stare at your dashboard or anything like that, which you still have to kind of stare at that screen. But we could set that screen up to have an oil pressure warning, so it'll, you know, I don't know, scream at you, reach out and slap you, whatever it does. Probably just flashes a different color or something like that. Truck's filthy, you know, and this is what you get when you have lovely kids. Clean me. They carved that into your poly window, but you'll notice the windshield sitting on top of the truck. So what we're gonna do, because the Holley Terminator only has limited inputs and outputs. It has 4 inputs, 4 outputs for spares. So a lot of guys run your fuel pump, which I'll have to look at. I believe you have to run the fuel pump as one of the external outputs. So that'll be one of them will be burned up, and then another one will be for the fans. I'm not a fan of running the fan on a toggle switch, because I'm likely to forget when it comes time to turn the fan on. I'll forget. So I'd rather have the ECU turn the fan on and off for me. It's just simpler. And then we're going to run the trans brake, the 2-step, and bump box, which I believe is 1 input and 1 output. And then if I have another, then we have boost control, so that's another output. So I don't believe I'm going to have another output for the shifter. It has an electric shifter. It has a shiftnoid, which worked good with the other setup. The other setup had a bunch of inputs and outputs. So it's the only, I guess you could say, downside. It's not really a downside, but because you know what you're getting when you get it. But a couple of extra inputs and outputs would be cool, but it is what it is. We have solid state relays that we're going to be using for the trans brake. That's highly recommended that you use a solid state relay. And Holley will also tell you that you have to use the trans brake protection module, which is coming. I don't have it here in hand, but it helps protect the ECU from when you let go of that trans brake button. It doesn't allow feedback from the trans brake solenoid snapping open. It doesn't allow the feedback, like the 12 volt, or it doesn't allow it to surge back through to the ECU and potentially harm your ECU, hurt your ECU, break your ECU, blow it up, smoke it, do whatever. So that's really good to have. It's really smart to have that, because you pay, you know, the retail on the Terminator is $1,000. So you can get that protection module. You know, you can order it through us. We do all the Holley brands, Holley, MSD, Hooker, Flowmaster, Excel, Hurst, Wine, NOS, Race Pack, Earl's B&M, Hayes, blah, 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 blah. Everything that's in that list right there, that list, all that. You can contact us if you need anything, and we'd be more than happy to help you out and hook you up. But for 35 bucks, 35, 40 bucks for a trans brake to not burn your $1,000 ECU, I've told my customers I recommend it, and I suggest it, and I tell them they have to have it, because I don't want you calling me saying you have a problem with the ECU, something's wrong with the ECU, and we send it off to Holley and they say, oh yeah, it was like a feedback issue, or if they can see that. To me, it's just better to spend a couple dollars to protect an investment. That's what this is. It's an investment that probably one of the worst ones you'll make, because it doesn't pay you back. But that's race cars, and that's that. We have fun with them. It's a family event for us. My wife loves going. My wife loves racing. My kids love going. So it's something for us that we enjoy doing. And to have, not put a $35 part and not be able to go and enjoy ourselves, just to me is just stupid. But yeah, so we're going to get this installed in the next day or so. And we will record all that. We'll put that up. We'll do a whole playlist. Like I said, so this was opening it. I'm sure you guys have seen it. But it's cool that, they have the oil, the fuel. I haven't seen too many guys talk about that. So it's pretty neat. Looking forward to it, but we'll do a whole playlist. So we did the opening. We'll do the install. We'll do the whole recording, installing it. And then we plan on taking the truck and getting it weighed. We've never weighed the truck. And it's got, fiberglass hood, fiberglass bumper. Still has, everything else is steel on this truck. Every panel is steel. The doors are steel. The doors are gutted, which amazingly, if nobody knows, you lose about 20 pounds just in gutting the door. And that's a hack job gut, basically just to get the regulator out and the big interior panel and the glass. I lost about 20 pounds per door, so that's 40 pounds. That's a lot of weight. If you don't need those interior panels. Obviously, we still have the rubber mat. We still have the headliner. We have the whole back interior to it. So there's still a lot in this truck that keep it leaning kind of toward the stock weight, or whatever you want to call it, stock appearance. Steel fenders and everything, which obviously we have another set of fenders way up there in our parts department. Yes, that is our parts department, way back there. Right, my finger's too big for the screen. Right there, that's our parts department. So there's a little guy in the back corner. No, but we have an extra set of fenders up there. We have extra doors for this, so we are going to change the fenders, and eventually in the future we're going to make a little series of doing carbon fiber. Really interested in doing that. But back to the point. So we'll post this video, like, subscribe, leave a couple comments for me, what you want to see, how I did. I hate being on camera, hate talking, but doing this to help people, doing this to promote our business, help us out. So we'll post this video, and then we're gonna take it to scales. We're gonna weigh it, or we're gonna install the Holley. I guess that would be a good idea. Take it to the scales. We'll weigh it, and we'll bring it to the dyno. And when we're at the dyno, we'll actually run through like the whole how the Holley software works. We'll do a whole upload like that. We'll set up boost control, the trans brake, the bump box. We'll do all of that maybe right before we go to the dyno, so we're not burning up time at the dyno. And then we'll run the truck on the dyno, and we'll turn it up a little bit. And then the last video in this series would be of the truck going down the track. The truck's only ever ran a best of 633 at 111 in the eighth, which I thought was good, but apparently was on 6 cylinders, and that was on about 12 pounds of boost. And we've always had issues with trying to turn the boost up and all that. Not blaming anybody or anything other than the ECU. No. So yeah, so stick with us. Like I said, like, subscribe, leave a couple comments. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.